The cargo hauler Meridian's Hope drifted silently through the outer reaches, its hull scarred from decades of service. Captain Vexthor, a Krylene pirate whose reputation preceded him across 7 star systems, stood on the bridge of his warship Blood Talon, studying the helpless vessel through crimson eyes. His scaled fingers drummed against the command console as his crew prepared boarding pods. "Another easy mark," hissed his first mate Takara, her forked tongue tasting the recycled air. "Minimal defenses. Standard merchant vessel." Vexthor nodded, his mandibles clicking in satisfaction. In his 40 cycles as a raider, he had plundered countless ships. Humans, Valians, Centauri merchants, all the same. They begged, they cowered, they surrendered their cargo. It had become almost boring. The boarding pods struck the Meridian's Hope with practiced precision. Vexthor led his crew through the breached airlock, plasma rifles at the ready. The ship's interior was cramped and worn, typical of independent traders barely scraping by. His thermal sensors detected life signs huddled in the cargo bay, 23 souls, likely the entire crew and their families. "Secure them," Vexthor ordered, his translator rendering his clicks and hisses into standard galactic. "And inventory the cargo, quickly." His pirates swept through the corridors with brutal efficiency. Within minutes, they had herded the crew into the main cargo bay. Vexthor surveyed the prisoners with practiced indifference. Mostly humans, a few Valians, some younglings clinging to their parents. Standard. Then he noticed the boy. Human, perhaps 13 solar cycles old by their reckoning. Thin, unremarkable, with brown hair and eyes that burned with something Vexthor hadn't seen in years. Not fear, not submission, rage. The boy stood in front of a woman, his mother likely, and a smaller child. His stance was protective, defensive. In his trembling hands he clutched a plasma cutter, a tool designed for repairs now held like a weapon. "Stay back." The boy's voice cracked but held firm. "Don't touch them." Takara laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Put down the tool, whelp, before you hurt yourself." The boy didn't move. His knuckles were white around the plasma cutter's grip. Vexthor raised a clawed hand, silencing his crew. He stepped forward, towering over the human child by nearly 2 meters. His scales gleamed under the cargo bay's harsh lights, his armor marked with the kills of 1,000 battles. He had faced trained soldiers who broke under his gaze. The boy held his ground. "You cannot win," Vexthor said, his voice a low rumble. "You are one small human with a tool. I am Vexthor the Render. I have destroyed warships, slaughtered champions, conquered worlds. I don't care," the boy replied, his voice steadier now. "You're not taking them." Something stirred in Vexthor's chest, a feeling he thought had died long ago. Respect. In all his cycles of raiding, plundering, and killing, he had never seen such foolish, magnificent courage. This child knew he would die, knew he had no chance, and yet he stood firm, a thin line of defiance against the darkness. It reminded Vexthor of himself, long ago, before the scars and the reputation, when he was just a young Krylene defending his clutchmates from slavers. "What is your name, human?" Vexthor asked. "Marcus." The boy's jaw was set. "Marcus Chen." Vexthor studied him for a long moment. His crew shifted uncomfortably behind him, confused by the delay. Takara moved forward, raising her rifle. "Captain, we're wasting time. Stand down." Vexthor's command was absolute. He holstered his sidearm and stepped closer to Marcus, whose plasma cutter rose slightly, ready to strike even though they both knew it would be his last act. Vexthor knelt, bringing his massive frame down to the boy's eye level. "You have the heart of a warrior, Marcus Chen," he said quietly. "You remind me of someone I once knew, someone I once was." Marcus's eyes flickered with confusion, but his grip didn't loosen. Vexthor stood and turned to his crew. "Take only food and medical supplies. Nothing more. Leave their cargo intact, Captain." Takara's voice was incredulous. "We came here for—" "I know what we came here for." Vexthor's eyes blazed. "And I say we take only what keeps them alive. Anyone who questions this can face me in the arena." Silence. No one moved. "But that's not all," Vexthor continued. He removed a data chip from his armor and held it out to Marcus. The boy stared at it, uncomprehending. "This contains coordinates to 3 safe routes through the outer reaches, and codes that will identify you as under my protection. No pirate, raider, or slaver who values their life will touch this vessel again." Marcus slowly lowered the plasma cutter, Why? Because today a child showed me what I had forgotten. Vex Thor's mandibles clicked softly. That honor is not dead. That courage is not measured in size or strength. And that sometimes the fiercest warriors are those who have the most to lose. He pressed the chip into Marcus's hand. Keep protecting them, Marcus Chen. The galaxy needs more like you. As Vex Thor and his crew departed, leaving the stunned crew of the Meridian's hope unharmed, Takara finally spoke. That was unlike you, Captain. Vex Thor watched the cargo hauler on his view screen as they disengaged. Perhaps, he said, or perhaps I finally remembered who I was before I became this. In the Blood Talon's wake, Marcus Chen stood in the cargo bay, still trembling, the data chip clutched in his fist. His mother wrapped her arms around him, tears streaming down her face. You saved us, she whispered. Marcus looked at the view screen showing the pirate ship's departure. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt terrified, exhausted, and confused. But somewhere in his chest something had awakened, a spark that would one day grow into a flame. And across the void, Vex Thor smiled, his mandibles clicking in something almost like joy. He had been reminded that the universe still held surprises, that honor could be found in the most unexpected places, that a human boy's ferocity could change even the deadliest pirate's heart.